and the control thing. And then we will go over how to use what the difference is between hebben and zijn with the past perfect. And we have a quick exercise. I think it's a little, and then you get the practice, which is always the best part, of course, I think. That's eventually what you have to do. So, again, apologies for the kind of messy start, a lot of technical difficulties, always. And let's see. Yes, so I will just start again quickly. We have two verbs we can use as the kind of auxiliary verb in the present perfect in Dutch, namely to be and to have. You use almost always you use to have, but there are two cases where you use to be. Namely, if the verb you are making present perfect is a verb of movement, like walking, swimming, going, these kinds of verbs. And if the start and end point of that movement are being mentioned. So if you say, oh, yesterday I walked home, for example, then you would say, gisteren ben ik naar huis gelopen. Or you could also say, gisteren liep ik naar huis in principle. But again, has but usually you then use the present perfect. It has to do with the use of the present perfect. It has to do with where you use hebben. So you would not say gisteren heb ik naar huis gelopen. You would say gisteren ben ik naar huis gelopen. I have walked home yesterday. You would not say literally in Dutch. You would say I am walked home yesterday, which in English doesn't really work because that would be the passive. And in Dutch, that's how you say. The other one is kind of a vague descriptor, namely werkwoorden die een veranderende situatie aangeven, which are verbs that indicate a changing situation. This is also, it's basically if the subject is somehow subject to some change. An example of this is, for example, if you say, oh yeah, she has changed, literally that she was kind of different before and how she is now or whatever. In Dutch you would say, zij is veranderd, she is changed. And you would not say, zij heeft veranderd. If you would say, zij heeft veranderd, that means that she has made some change. For example, zij heeft haar wachtwoord veranderd. She has changed her password. In Dutch, so those are. Did someone say something? No, those are cool. So that is when you use to be. We will see some more examples shortly. You use to have if the verb is of movement, but only the movement is being given, not really a starting or end point. So the example I gave earlier, ik liep gisteren naar huis. If you would say, I walked home yesterday, then you would use to be. But if you say, I walked yesterday, or I walked for a bit yesterday, then you say, ik heb gisteren gelopen. Not ik ben gisteren gelopen. Because the endpoint is not mentioned. And furthermore, any other case you would use have. So just remember, verbs of movement that have an endpoint mentioned and sentences in which the subject is changing. Those are the two cases where you use to be. And let's see some examples here. Ik ben naar huis gelopen. I walked home. Or ik heb een stukje gelopen. I have walked for a bit. Haar financiële situatie is veranderd. Zij heeft haar wachtwoord veranderd. Her financial situation is changed versus she has changed her password. These are basically the two cases. Then, very importantly, I'm kind of holding you in the dark for this a bit. How do you make the the past participle? Because the present perfect is a conjugation of to have or to be. That plays the finite verb, and then at the end of the sentence there's a past participle. And it is pretty easy in principle, but again, this is subject to a lot of irregularities, just as the past simple is. But for regular verbs, you just use the stem, the actual stem, and then D or T, depending, again, whether the last letter of the crude stem is in sexy ketchup. And then you just slap ge in front. So, for example, the verb werken, always our favorite example because it's easy. Werken, shop of en, you get werk as the stem, ends on k, that is in sexy soft ketchup. So you add a T and a G at the front. The past participle is gewerkt. Ik heb gewerkt. Nice. But there are, of course, a lot of irregular cases, some of which are mentioned here in your booklet. To be, of course, irregular is not zijn, maar geweest. Hebben is niet gehebt, maar gehad. Worden is niet geword, maar geworden, etc. etc. A lot of examples here. Zien becomes gezien, not gezien. Lezen becomes gelezen, not gelezen. There is some regularity to this, but not a lot. So unfortunately, you have to remember these. Oh yeah, now the break. This is where the break should be. One more comment about this. Again, fill in the stem as the actual stem, not and the D or T is dependent on the crude stem or not. And furthermore, if the verb starts with ge, ve, or ver, you do not add ge at the start of the past. So, for example, the verb veranderen, which means change, the past participle is niet geveranderd, but it's just veranderd. That is because this starting prefix is unemphasized, and if you have two unemphasized startings, that doesn't sound very nice. Lagging again. Oh.
You weren't with me, but
then it is nothing to do with my microphone. Because this is a different microphone. It has probably something to do with my internet connection then.
Might be.
Yeah. Fine for you. Okay. That is. Did you miss? Do you want me to repeat it? No, I think it's pretty much. Okay. I hope you still got what I was trying to say. Not sure how much I got. Yes, please. All those letters don't. So maybe you could write them in the chat. Yeah. So the prefixes ge, be, and ver. You do not add ge when making the past participle. That's fine. Maybe Thomas will have a better sound if Milena turns off her mic when she's not talking. Then we can discuss. Oh, then it's echo. Ge, be, and ver. That's right. Yes. No, almost. Ge, be, and ver. These three. So an example word would be veranderd. Of that's the past participle, and it's not geveranderd, because that would sound incorrect. All right. Do you have questions about this? About making past participle, where they're going to, etc.
So there's in your textbook there's a mistake. You have a list of irregular verbs, and for worden it says geweest, but that's geworden.
Yes, it should be geworden. Indeed, that's silly.
All right, I will turn off my microphone again, so maybe it will work for your sound.
That's a good addendum. So we can see here this list of verbs it should be geworden for the past participle of worden and not geweest. All right. Let's quickly, no, okay, there's a practice exercise here, but I do not have a slide for it. So maybe just quickly go through it together, just verbally. So if you look at the exercise, oefening 2, voltooid deelwoord, you have to fill in the correct past participle. The first sentence is, ik heb de hele dag aan mijn huiswerk. And you have to put in the correct conjugation of the correct past participle of werken. And the correct answer there will be, I will spoil this one because it's easy, gewerkt. Gewerkt. Because again, the K is in sections of ketchup, so you add a T and a GE at the start. Could someone tell me what the second one would be? Heb je de dokter al? And then conjugate, make past participle of bellen. Almost.
Is it gebeld?
Yes, it is gebeld. You need to put ge at the start, but otherwise it is correct. Yes. Gebeld. Very good. So that means have you called the doctor already? 3. Het regende gisteren, dus ik heb de bus. And you have to conjugate pakken. What will be the correct conjugation? Yes, that's very good, Justine. But unfortunately here, the b is not unemphasized. So you have 2 different kinds of b. Here, the whole verb is bellen, so it's pronounced differently. Bel. And the prefix b is sort of different. It's, for example, in the verb begraven, which means to bury, it is pronounced differently and it is kind of a prefix slapped onto a different word. So indeed, you did the rule correctly, but unfortunately, this is kind of sort of an exception. It's a different case. Yeah. Okay. Has someone answered the... Okay. Can someone do the third one then? Het regende gisteren, dus ik heb de bus. And you have to conjugate pakken. Yes, very good. 4. Carlijn heeft een half jaar in Denemarken. Yes, almost. You have to use 2 O's because this would be pronounced as gewond. Wounded. Yes, so gewond. Because the vowel sound in bone is bone. 1 O. Alright, and the 5th one, I will do this one. We zijn allemaal met roken. Stoppen. Oh, how is it correct? Okay, the last one, we zijn allemaal met roken. Stoppen. So we make participle. We chop off the end. We see the full stem is stop. P is in sections of ketchup. So we add a P. Make the whole stem. So we drop P. Add ge at the start. So the gestopt. Dus allemaal gestopt met roken. Right. So that is this. Are there any questions? The past verb, the present verb. How to make it where to conjugate it, when to use it. Are there? Or you can also turn on your mic. then you'll have some. So we will move on to an exercise where you get namely opening 3. For this, we can make use of Microsoft Teams. Nice environment. If you click on Teams, you'll see all these groups from 1 to 10. About 10. And I will tell you where you need to go. Or what you do is you go into the chat and click on Start. And then you do exercise. And answer the following. So you go like, all right.
Was it my microphone then? I was muted the whole time.
Yes, okay, it was not your fault. Is it still like...
It was worth a try.
You can hear me now?
I can.
Okay, good. Then the rest can probably also. So what you do is you click on Teams to the left, and then click on the group, which I will assign you to in a bit. And then you click on Start Meeting, and then with the 2 of you, or 3, depending on how many people we are, please go through exercise 3, oefening 3. Wat heb je gedaan, wat ga je doen? You ask each other these questions, and then you answer. In the interest of time, just alternate questions. So person 1 asks question 1 to person 2, person 2 answers, and then person 2 asks question 2 to person 1, etc., etc. And then now I will say who goes where, because last time it was very hard to do naturally. So Justine and I'm not sure what your name is, mropamartins@gmail.com. Could you go in group 1 and start a meeting and do exercise 1 together? Exercise 3 together, I'm sorry. Then Neha and Gonzalo, could you go in group 2 and do exercise 3 together? We'll just go do this. Joanna and I can't see everyone who's in the meeting. Ooh, that's no way to do that. There must be. Yes, okay. So Joanna, I said, and who else is here? Ines, could you go to group 3? Better. And then Knives, that whole. I'm sorry. We'll butcher all of your names. Could you go with Malena? Great. And Knives, again, very sorry. Could you go with Reva into group 4 together? Ooh. Here's it. Then Giovanni and D Mushashi 634. I'm not pretty sure what your name is. Sorry. Could you go into group 5? Vera and Natalia, could you go into group 6? And then Ulrike and Elizabeth, could you go into group 7? Yes, is this clear? Did I assign everyone? Someone not know where to go, what to do? Well, you see some people doing meetings. It's very good.
So the first 2 groups already started. The rest is
Yes, underway.
yeah.
Who does not know where they have to go? I will start a few meetings for some people.
Okay, 3 and 4 are complete. I
Hey, what's
think
your
I put
deadline?
one there.
That's good. 5 past. Sorry, we'll go on a bit longer than we should, but indeed. 5 past, please return here.
All right, for the people still in this group, in your little chat or in your group, you can click the camera icon at the bottom and then you can start a meeting there.
Yeah. Okay, we'll. I will just join and make a meeting for some people.
Yeah, I'll do that for group 4 if they're not doing it already. Oh, no, they did. I think. Oh, you already did, okay.
hello. Most of you are back. We'll notify the others also. All right. Not all of you are here yet, but so that went not super smoothly with Jay. Of course, there's a lot of you who are new as well. I think I explained at the start, explained it better. Again, also learning experience. So next time, I will in the break make a review first. So that will take a little time. And yes, so I hope you got some practice in. And yeah, that was it for the You can rewatch this lecture uh, later. I will put it here. And, yes, I will put it on the files tab later, so you can read at your leisure. And I might make summary like the important part. Yes. All right. So that was it for this week. Other there aren't any questions. Please do your homework for next week. Everyone is new here. It's actually page 22. What you have to do is make participle, make verb, and again. And then next week, I hope everything will go a lot more smoothly than everyone would need. So that was it for this week. Thank you very much for joining, and I hope to see